Hello everybody, I'm going to offer you another little conclusion that I have been led to on this extraordinary journey that led me personally towards hypnotherapy, weirdly. I have no idea where it might potentially lead you to. Hopefully a sense of well-being, a sense of better harmonious balance within inside yourself, maybe a sense of self-acceptance, maybe a more wise and open-minded perspective on the universe. Let's go as wide as that. Yeah. What I want to talk about today is dog-eat-dog society. It's capitalism. It's the perspective inside our brain, the story that for me to win, somebody else has to lose. Or if somebody else wins, I'm obviously losing or suffering. Because that's a nonsense. It is quite literally a nonsense, as if it were written. It is a fear-driven story. It says to you, if you don't work harder, someone else is going to be further up the pecking order of life. They are going to run up the ladder quicker than you, and they are going to pick you up and throw you off the ladder. So you're going to suffer because they won. And we end up with the politics of greed, the politics of envy. We end up with a system where the background context is scarcity, is fear, is risk. And people are very, very easily controlled when they're in a state of fear. And I'm here to tell you, it's a myth. It's a myth. Sure, some people are going to be richer than others. Some people are going to have different skills from others. But for me to succeed, there is no reason why you have to suffer. None. Okay? In fact, frequently is the case that for one to succeed, one needs others. And when those others help, the gross product of that is larger than the contribution of each of the compounding parts. So in actual fact, we benefit, we create a more abundant society by co-creating, by cooperating. I think there is a benefit behind the lookout for number one, okay, which is kind of take care of yourself, consider yourself, don't get lost in society, don't placate yourself to other people. But also, don't let yourself be led to this conclusion, this capitalistic curse. When you look at life in that different way, when you realize that we're all in this together, effectively, that we all need each other, that my brother is not my enemy, my brother is my friend, that between us we can conjure up a beautiful world, or we can conjure up an absolutely disastrous world, depending upon our expectation, depending upon our outlook, depending upon the way that we see each other. Well, then the better we see each other, the better the world becomes. Yeah? You have a more joyous existence when you see your fellow man as your fellow man, rather than as a potential sucker upon the abundance which would otherwise be there in your life. More than that, when you have that expectation, you create your reality, and so your perception aligns with that, and so you feel better. Yeah? So the whole idea of this capitalistic nonsense makes you feel worse. It makes you feel as though you're living in a land of scarcity where you have to try harder, you have to work harder. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with having goals and motivations and trying harder, but it should be on a context, on a background that is sound, that is valid, yeah, that is workable, that is beneficial to you, that doesn't maintain your fear and undermine your courage, yeah. When you do that, then suddenly the world kind of throws you these gifts all around, because you're playing a different game. You are literally playing a different game. You're interacting with everybody in a different way, and they appreciate it. And when they appreciate it, they kind of give you gifts. And when you appreciate it, you kind of give them gifts. And we float each other's boat. Yeah. Just keep that one little thing in your mind. In order for me to succeed, no one else needs to suffer. And similarly, just because somebody else is succeeding has no impact upon my ability to succeed or not. Once you earn, the last figure I saw was something like $80,000 per year. Any increase upon that has no impact whatsoever, or a negligible impact upon your well-being, upon your happiness. Now, that's still quite a challenge, to get to $80,000 a year. But what I'm saying is that this exaggeration, the spectrum of wealth, where some people are extraordinarily wealthy, is nonsensical. It brings nothing. It may bring a sense of status. It may bring a case of societal validation, but that is based on sandy foundations. The entire thing is a nonsense. Yeah. If you're at the other end of the scale, this is so important that you see the world as an abundant place rather than as a place to resent because it's unfair, because you're below the threshold. Yeah. Because you maintain what you expect. You look out for proof of what you already expect. That's why it's so important to have this ability inside of you to contextualize and say, okay, so my fear monster is telling me X, Y, Z, right? But it's not true. It's not true. It's not true. All right, that's it. I'm going to shut up about that. If this is of use, subscribe, because there'll be many, 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 many more. All right, take care. Send me a message, write some comments down below, do something to build the conversation. All right, cheers. Bye.